with Keith, and we're at the PMC stand now. PMC have a very strong following on the forums, so what are you showing here at CEDIA 2008?
We've got our CI products, which we've got a range of loudspeakers, from compact loudspeakers right the way through to larger floor standers, and we're mainly concentrating on the CI product, which is the waifer series, which is a series of loudspeakers which are in-wall and on-wall. There's two models of the in-wall and the on-wall. This is the waifer 2. The waifer 2 has a 6.5 inch bass unit, and the waifer 1, which has a 5.5 inch bass unit. And it's got some quite unique features. It's not compromised when it's positioned vertically or horizontally, because it has switching tweeters. So the tweeter always appears above the bass unit, which is simply switched by switching from vertical to horizontal. It's also got a really nice feature as well if it's placed in a very high position or very low position. We've got the beam up function, which tilts the image up very slightly, so it always images in the center of the screen, which is really useful. It's really useful also when it's used in ceiling, where it can tilt the image towards the listener, so you don't need to have the loudspeaker directly above the listener, which is really useful. They're all transmission line design, which means you get great bass at low levels, so you don't need to listen at high volumes to get a good bass response. It's also got great power handling and very wide dispersion, so within the room, wherever you are in the room, you still get a good, even frequency response and a good image.
The one thing, Keith, that's really caught my eye is the finish to the speaker there. Maybe you can explain the finish.
The finish on the front here? Yeah, this is a thing we developed called Stealth Baffle. Most in-walls and on-walls have fairly wide baffles, but the problem is with that you get a coloration from the front of the baffle, and what our acoustic chaps at the factory have developed is a thing called Stealth Baffle, and they looked at the frequencies that radiate off the front of the baffle, and they've designed this acoustic material which specifically absorbs that, so they sound very, very clean and they image properly. Otherwise they'd sound a little bit like someone shouting through a cup, so they sound much less coloured and more like a true monitor.
Now it looks like a sealed box unit there, so I take it that can go in-wall or on-wall.
It's not a sealed box because it's got the vent is in the front. It's a transmission line, so it's an extended line. It's called an H line, because normally our loudspeakers would be the drive unit would appear on the front of the cabinet, and then the folded line would extend from behind the main bass unit, and then down and then out towards the front. But with the wafer, it's very, very difficult to do that, because if you're going to put it into a wall, you don't want it radiating from the rear, so you have to have the vent on the front, but there's no depth of cabinet, so you can't have the line extending away from the drive unit. So what we've built is an H line. So it's from behind the bass unit, you've got partitions that create the H shape. The rear radiation leaves the back of the bass unit, it travels through a long labyrinth, which is created by the H, goes up towards the top of the cabinet, divided into two, runs down the sides of the cabinet and back out through the vent, which gives you that great control of the bass unit and great bass extension and lower distortion as well.
Now these are obviously designed for custom install and so on, where you want the speakers to look invisible.
Yeah.
But I understand you have other products out there, and some products that have even been used for audio mixing recently.
Yeah. 50% of our business is on the pro side, but we find that a lot of post-production rooms are actually quite compact, and they need a lot of space in there. They don't want to have it cluttered, so we installed waifer 2s down at BBC Cardiff, where they do all the production for Torchwood and Doctor Who. So they are a true monitor, and that's the proof in the pudding, really.
Yeah, well, I think it goes without saying, if it can be used for professional mixing, then
sure.
Then what you're getting at home is closer to the studio master.
Yeah, you're hearing it exactly how it was intended, not a kind of an interpretation or. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you also have some amplifiers here on your stand.
Yeah, indeed.
Today, maybe talk us through them.
Yeah, sure. We've been distributors now, Bryston products from Canada now for nigh on 10 years now, and they produce very, very low distortion, high quality amplification and electronics processors, and recently a CD player actually, from mono amplifiers, from about a kilowatt mono amplifiers to multi-channel amplifiers, 5-channel amplifiers, little modules that you can bolt to the back of loudspeakers called power packs. So it's a really wide range of electronics, and as I said, the processors as well, surround processors.
Well, like I say, PMC, a very popular brand on the forums, and it looks like you're doing brisk business here today. So
yeah, it's good.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks so much.